If collapse announced itself, it would already be on your phone. There would be alerts, breaking banners, experts explaining what went wrong. But collapse doesn't arrive that way. It arrives while the lights are still on, while transactions still clear, while tomorrow still looks like yesterday. For most of human history, collapse never announced itself. No sirens, no emergency broadcasts, no final warning. Civilizations did not fall because they were suddenly weak. They fell because they mistook continuity for permanence. Life repeated itself just enough to feel reliable. Food arrived, laws held, money worked, seasons returned on time. Children grew up inside patterns that match their parents' memories. Stability felt earned, familiar, almost moral, until one day it didn't. Collapse rarely arrives as an explosion. It arrives as a sentence that stops making sense halfway through. Right now, you are standing inside systems that feel dependable. Energy grids hum quietly in the background. Financial institutions settle transactions in seconds. Climate patterns still resemble memory more than chaos. Social trust mostly holds, just enough to avoid panic. That sensation, the sense that things are basically fine, is not evidence of safety. It is delayed visibility. The human nervous system evolved for immediacy. A rustle in the grass meant danger. A sudden shadow meant death. A loud sound demanded instant reaction. Our brains became exceptionally good at detecting fast threats, sharp changes, clear signals, immediate consequences. But slow threats never triggered alarms. When change unfolds gradually, the mind treats it as background noise. It adapts without conscious awareness. Yesterday's deviation becomes today's normal. Tomorrow's version quietly becomes the baseline. This process is known as baseline drift. Baseline drift explains why worsening conditions feel tolerable, why decay feels manageable, why warning signs feel abstract until they become personal. Each small change feels reasonable. Each adjustment feels justified. Each compromise feels temporary until the original baseline disappears completely and no one remembers when it moved. This is why prolonged drought feels survivable until reservoirs are empty. Why institutional erosion feels manageable until trust evaporates. Why climate stability feels intact until extremes dominate daily life. Stability is not the absence of change. It is change that moves slower than perception. Systems do not need to be healthy to feel stable. They only need their failures to be buffered. All stable systems are supported by mechanisms that absorb strain. In the natural world, these mechanisms are buffers. Ice sheets reflect solar energy. Forests regulate moisture and carbon. Oceans absorb vast amounts of heat. Soils store nutrients. Atmospheric circulation redistributes imbalance across the planet. Buffers do not stop change. They delay its consequences. As long as buffers hold, the surface appears calm. Temperature averages remain acceptable. Variability feels familiar. Extremes appear rare and isolated. But buffers are finite. They do not weaken politely. They do not issue warnings. They fail when capacity is exceeded. Ice reflects sunlight until thinning crosses a threshold. Then absorption accelerates. Forests regulate rainfall until stress compounds. Then collapse spreads region by region. Oceans absorb heat until circulation patterns shift, releasing stored energy elsewhere. What appeared stable was not stable at all. It was deferred. Human societies rely on the same architecture. Savings absorb income shocks. Infrastructure absorbs population growth. Institutions absorb conflict. Trust absorbs inequality. Law absorbs disagreement. Bureaucracy absorbs friction. As long as these buffers exist, stress remains hidden. Shelves stay stocked. Power stays on. Contracts remain enforceable. Elections still happen. Markets still open. Daily life continues with just enough predictability to suppress alarm. This creates a dangerous inference. If nothing has broken yet, nothing is wrong. But buffers do not reverse deterioration. They only delay its visibility. Rome did not collapse when its roads stopped working, or when its armies vanished, or when trade abruptly ended. Rome endured centuries of accumulated strain, administrative overload, currency debasement, military overstretch, declining civic trust, increasing dependence on temporary fixes. For generations, daily life continued. Roads were repaired, armies marched, trade persisted. The appearance of continuity remained intact because the system still had capacity to absorb stress. Collapse became visible only when that capacity was exhausted. What followed felt sudden only because the warning period had been mechanically invisible. Slow damage does something counterintuitive. It compresses consequences. Pressure accumulates quietly, predictably, below awareness. Costs are deferred, trade-offs postponed, repairs delayed, risk externalized into the future. Then release happens fast. Decades of strain discharge in years, sometimes in months. This is why collapse always feels sudden in hindsight. Not because it was fast, but because it was slow for too long. Once systems cross critical limits, feedback loops take over. Failures amplify failures. Recovery stops being gradual. Stabilizing mechanisms reverse direction. What once absorbed strain begins to accelerate breakdown. Intelligence does not prevent this dynamic, it intensifies it. Advanced systems optimize relentlessly. Efficiency becomes virtue, slack becomes waste. Redundancy becomes failure, but redundancy is not inefficiency, it is resilience. Removing it makes systems brittle. Highly optimized systems perform beautifully under the conditions they were designed for. But when stress arrives from outside those assumptions, failure is not graceful, it cascades. Modern systems do not collapse slowly, they hold longer. Then they fail faster. The stability illusion persists because it is rewarded. Normalcy is praised. Alarm is punished. Warnings feel disruptive. Caution sounds pessimistic. Every functioning day becomes evidence against concern, until concern becomes unavoidable. By then, options have narrowed. If your world feels stable right now, that feeling is not proof. It is perceptual lag. Stability is not permanence. It is borrowed time, made comfortable by buffers you cannot see. And borrowed time does not announce when it ends. It simply runs out.